S-U-E.
The podcast you have been waiting for.
6 friends, 6 opinions, infinite laughs.
You're watching History in the Making.
You don't have to open up your eyes, you can clearly see.
The #1 podcast is GCU Week. 20 years of brotherhood. The Q La Familia. Raw, uncut, uncensored, and unfiltered. Bub's opinionated. Why Eddie keep you laughing? Steve will get the tea while Shot tells us all what's happening. Spiritual or natural. I'm here for the thrills. And when it comes to PJ, y'all, please say the real. From quick hits, heavy lifting, the mass to the week. We getting ratings through the roof every time that we speak. PA, GA to the Aspens, turning podcasts into under-table has-been. Sports, entertainment, and current events. Sometimes we get pissed, so the crew got a vent. So when Friday night come, you know just what to do. Sit back, put up your feet, and now rocking with the Q. Did somebody say it was Friday? I thought they did. You already know what it is. It's the one and only GQ podcast. And it's your boy Boog, straight out the 804. I don't have that cold no more, so my voice is back. Again, moving hormones with my voice tone. So, we're going to go around and get the introductions from the fellas. You know, the usual suspects. We're going to start with Bob. Let's go.
Man, did you just say you give hormones with your voice is back?
I said I got my voice back. I'm moving hormones again with this voice tone. So let's go and get these introductions. Let's go, Bob.
Hey, if it's your first time with us, we welcome you. This ain't usually how it goes neither. Like, we don't discuss hormones and voice changes. We understand that. But, but if it's not your first time with us, we welcome you back. Either way, we sit back and relax, and we hope you enjoy our show.
We're going to keep it in the 717 to go over there. Eddie, let's go.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Yeah, I don't know what this hormone talk is about, but I feel it. I mean, I love the energy. Like, I'm here. You understand? I know y'all been waiting to see me. I know. I'm here. Don't worry, I won't let you down. I love all my people, yo.
Yo, we're going to take it down to ATL with Mr. Suave Magazine himself, Shad, who's going to set it off for the night. Let's go.
Yo, it's been a great day. I just have to say that with all my smile and happiness, it's been a great day. And that's gone. I'm done. All right, so you know what I mean. Let's we're gonna have some fun today because I gotta tell myself it's
what kind of ending was that?
You gotta try to like just change your direction by telling yourself that things are great even when you're pissed off. It's been a pissy day, but it's been good. It's been productive. So it's Friday. I don't know what a weekend is, so you know tomorrow is just Saturday. It's the day after Friday.
I agree.
It's the day after the Q day, but you can always check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, our webpage. Anyway, go ahead.
Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But go
You
ahead.
can call me at 717. It's like, nah.
You know what? Let's go.
All right. So for everybody that's kind of used to listening to us or tuning in, things like that, today's going to be a little different, a little transparent. We're talking about the epidemic of black males, and seeing if we're broken or if we think we're broken as other black males. But before we get into that, we got our quick hits. We got a hip hop homicide show. Let's see what that's about.
King Von, Magnolia Shorty was gunned down yesterday.
As of 2022, there's been a staggering number of rappers who've been murdered. And more than half of those cases are unsolved.
How many times do we have to see this in hip-hop?
If pop stars were being killed at this rate, there would be an uproar about it.
They'd be at war. I'm your host, Van Lathan, and together with executive producer 50 Cent, we're here to bring these cases into the light.
I was with him. I could see everything.
My daddy was a known gangster in the city. You don't ever get curious?
I'm gonna keep that to myself.
They don't care where you're at. When I catch you, I'm gonna kill you.
The rumors that they had about this guy, that he was a killer.
It was a hit from jail.
Everybody was just pointing fingers because nobody had the answer.
You saying that he got money off her life insurance and then put it on the street?
Yes.
Who would climb to the second floor to find the locked door?
You seem pretty sure that somebody was paid to kill him now.
Yeah, I do.
He became a target.
We're here to find the truth.
These guys are rappers. They're #1 targets.
They're dying while living their dreams.
That's what happens when you mix street with music.
Hip Hop Homicides premieres Thursday, November 3rd on WeTV. Stream every moment Monday.
Oh, I'm setting it off? Well, let's go. I'm here for it. I like it. I like the whole concept of it. And the reason I say I like it is because I look at artists like XXX and Mo3 or all these other artists, and then I look at the circumstances behind in which they were killed or they were shot by some unnamed people, and most of the time young people, even Pop Smoke, like minors breaking in while he was in the shower trying to rock. You know what I mean? I don't believe all of it. I don't believe in coincidence, first off. Let me put that out there. But I believe it's something behind the madness. And then, like, you know, once it gets out there that, you know, labels have insurance on these people and this, that, and the third, a lot of the times it looks more set up than natural. You know what I mean? Like, you got your street, but when have rappers not been talking about the streets, though, and been out there in the streets? But it just started now all of a sudden, and more of them are starting to get killed. It's not by coincidence. That's my 2 cents, and I'm done.
Go ahead.
So I can see why you would feel like it's not a big coincidence, but I look at it kind of differently. I just feel like it's misinformed youth that's deciding that it's just the same old street mentality shit. I see you shining. I want what you got because I ain't never had nothing, or whatever the scenario is, which I'm not making an excuse for it. I think it's wrong. I feel like instead of like trying to take somebody's shit, maybe talk to them and see how you can get where they're at. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's just the mature me talking. I don't know, if I was 17 and living the street life, maybe I would want to just get out here and rob somebody. But I just think it's dumb. Like, I just think that it's misguided youth, man. A lot of these people getting killed by young black males. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, where's their guidance? You know what I mean? We're the fathers that to tell these kids, yo, don't do dumb shit like that. Yeah, I know you're struggling, but there's other ways out of it. So as far as the show, yeah, I'm with it. Obviously, I'm going to watch it because I'm interested in it or whatever, but I just think like as far as the killings, I just think it's misguided youth, man, and we need to do better with helping out these misguided youth. Like, we got to show them another way. I think that falls on us.
See, I think, I'm going to watch the show. It goes into, I think, the line of thinking that's causing, because we're focusing on the rappers, but we know as black men, black fathers with black sons, that this isn't just rappers. Mm-hmm. And I think that it's part of our main topic, what we're going to discuss later, is part of the psyche that's causing this. And we had to delve deep into why do we not value life? You know what I mean? Like, we don't, like, in order to kill somebody, you just got to not value life, because we're robbing for stupid stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not a matter of protection or anything. It's because of just the fact that you would think that, yo, I'd rather kill this person than just have a possession. Like, we don't even value ourselves and look at our own brother to say, like, hey, his life ain't worth this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that change, just to own that for this few moments, isn't worth his family, him. You know what I mean? Like, so many people going through this thing. And I just think that it's a show that's going to show some bigger issues, and I'm here for it. Like, definitely, but it definitely shows the psyche of which we have to deal with as black men in America, even amongst ourselves.
I got two things. First, I think the underlining issue is that we have to realize that a lot of the street has gone into the music industry. So now it's a way for people that have money in the street, whatever way it may be, legally or illegally, and you can wash it through the music industry and put it into an artist. And then you're taking your street beef into a music industry, which it doesn't really come into the industry necessarily, but your street beef is still your street beef. So it's like, oh, all these rappers are getting killed. Most of them are coming from street situations where that was already a beef they had in there. Now you're amplifying your beef by putting your shit on a track and then pushing it nationwide or worldwide. antagonizing the person you beefing with, thinking that you're not going to get touched. So a lot of it, it's not, like Book said, it's not random. Like, all this is like stuff that's going on. But when you give access to, you know what I mean, hood dudes to be able to like put their money into the music industry to try to clean up, to try to, you know, change the pace of life, whatever, your street problems follow you. So if you don't dead that shit before you get in there, it's coming with you. So I'll probably watch it. I mean, it's like probably the best hip hop snitch show ever. I'm definitely going to like check it out. But I mean, this is snitching 101, and you're doing it like live television. This is like, that industry's not supposed to be snitching. It's my fault.
But you know what? If you look through a lot of the cases, I promise you, if you look through the majority of them, like some of them, like, to your credit, Shad, you're right. Some of them do have pre-existing beef. But a lot of these jokers were shot with no robberies. A couple of them had robberies, like PNB Rock was the latest one that had a robbery. Pop Smoke, the motive was quote unquote robbery when they got in there. But if the man was in the shower, were you really just there to rob it? Because you killed it. You see what I'm saying? You can say the robbery, but I'm telling, I believe, and then 3 or 4 of them were actually on the same label, which blows me. Because I'm like, even as an A&R, an artist, a producer, whoever, you're not going to tell me that you're getting these artists and 3 or 4 of your artists on the same level go out the same way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but some of it, like I said, I don't think that it's all. It could be that. I'm not saying you're wrong, but think about King Von. His shit started over some beef. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, a fight and some beef, and then he ended up getting shot. So it is typical street shit, though. It's typical.
But their fight was going on for like, the fight between his crew and the other crew was going on for like 2 years. It was just a matter of being in the same place. It was matter of being in the same place at the same time.
But that's typical hood stuff that happens without the rappers, like I think you were saying. Like two guys could have been beefing for a long time, and they just happen to be at the same club. Yo, go get the strap. You know what I mean? And there it go.
You on site.
They're still lost. It's still like Bub said. They're for you to be reckless, have reckless abandon, and it's not even just the person you're trying to kill. A lot of these just happen in front of innocent bias. You just letting loose in front of everybody. It's something's missing.
They don't care.
You know what I'm saying? Like something's missing up there, bro. Like
I mean, it's misguided youth, like you were saying, Eddie. But the thing is that the main true issue in the matter is that we're losing too many young black men for stupid reasons. Like there's no validity. There's no reason why we don't understand like the value of life. Like we're getting attacked by others for just being us. So then we're gonna turn it back on ourselves and hate the ones that's progressing. Like it's a classic crab in a barrel mentality, but it's also a fact like you're making more enemies on top of the ones that you already naturally have. Like you're not going to be productive, and they're just making that much more harder for us. And like you said, Eddie, like as well, like we need fathers, like we need men, like the old heads to step up and kind of give these guys like the game. Like, yo, we got to stop sensationalizing some of these negative things. And I think that's the cause for like, and that's the thing that's been a major cause for these kids. Because now, I think, like to your point, Shad, with it being in the music industry, there's more money to be made because I think a lot more people know how to make money. Because I think people always funneled money through music before. Like, you know, we know Barry Gordy's story, and a lot of them did. But now that they know the point system, the internet, everything's open, there's more money available. But like what Eddie was saying, like, yo, ask somebody, how can I get along with this? Like, you don't have to take it from that next man. You should learn from that. That's how you build better nations and stronger communities. Like, and that's just sad that we just have to keep having these type of things. And that's why they don't feel that we value, because we don't even value ourselves. And it's just sad, and it hurts. Because I have a son, you know what I mean? I have 2 sons. So it's like, you know, and I'm a black man. You know, it's already enough target on my back and on their back. So the thing that they can't even look at their own peer and be like, and we live in crazy times, but they're like these incidences are a lot of amongst their own peers, and it's just sad, man. Like we got to get in the right direction.
I think before we like dig too far into this, because this is pretty much like the main topic. I think a big issue of it is that we've celebrated dysfunction for so long, and when you do that, it glorifies all the wrong shit. So now you think that it's hot to do that. Like that's cool. I'll take a bid to put somebody on their back. Like it's just the mindset's wrong, but the mindset has been glorified for like 3 decades. So it takes it takes just as much to get back away from something that you get into. So if it took 3 decades to get there, it's going to take 3 decades to get back out. Like you got work to do.
Yeah, because it's generation after generation, and it's just instilled in them. Because it's not just that generation. Our generation is the same shit. You follow. Basically, you listen to what you're hearing in the music, and whether this person is really living that life or not, you glorify it. I want to do that. I want to rob somebody. That seems like a cool thing to do. I want to rock the jewels and all of that there. Like, and I'm going to take it from him because I'm going to get notoriety, I'm rather because I did that. Now they know my name in the streets is I'm a stick-up kid. And like you're right. It's generational. It's not. I can't even just blame the younger kids because it's something that people of our generation have done, and even before. You know
even before snatching chains was a thing in like the 60s, 70s.
Yeah,
like it's just it ain't new. Like it takes.
That's because we're putting snatching chains is because we put too much value on the wrong thing. We put it on items instead of life. Because if you value, that's what I'm saying. Like it always comes down to if you value a life. Because again, even like, oh, you took my chain, oh, so I'm gonna take your life. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what happens. Or like, oh, you tried to take my chain, I'm gonna take your life. Instead of just like we got to learn how to value each other. Like that's what we're missing. Like but.
Yeah, because we're digging into our names.
But we definitely got some more quick hits for y'all though. Like there's more. There's more.
All right, so Bub, you gotta go into this Brett Favre thing. I don't know about this wherefore fraud. Like, what do you do?
All right, so I know everybody's seen that the 2 main stories from last week for our second quick hit. We're going to just.
Yo, I can't hear Bub.
We can't hear you, bro.
We can't hear you, Bub.
Nah.
Yeah, no.
Did you push the button? You muted it.
We can't hear you. Nothing. I could tell you basically. Yeah, we can't hear you yet, bro. So basically, he was, from my understanding, he was taking money that was supposed to be for like welfare and things of that nature, and they were trying to build a tennis court or something at I believe his daughter's college or whatever. Volleyball, one of them joints. But they were taking money, and I think he was in cahoots with. Was it the governor that he was in cahoots with? I believe.
Not sure about that part, but he definitely.
I don't want to give wrong information. Let's move on, and we'll come back to that when Bub get back. He knows all the details, but it's pretty. Wait,
he's back.
Nah, I can't hear you.
Okay, so he's not back. But as we were saying, that along with the Celtics head coach being caught in an affair on Nia Long, that was the second subject. Now, the coverage that these 2 subjects are getting has been different in the media as well as the press.
Oh yeah.
So we want thoughts. Like, is it a race that we're hearing more about the Celtics coach affair than Brett Favre embezzling money or taking money? Or is it just the way the ball bounces? What you think, Eddie?
So here's my thing on it. First of all, it's always about race. I don't care what nobody says. Yes, I don't care. You can be naive if you want. We're always looked at black is bad, white is good. It's really that simple. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, real. I'm not. Am I wrong?
No, you're telling the truth.
Like, just the colors, what the colors represent. You know what I'm saying? Sir. White is pure. It's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Black is like, ooh. You know what I'm saying? Ooh. You know what I mean? Like, I want that dark shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, like, that's what it is. So let's bring it into the media. You got Brett Favre, and for you people that don't know who Brett Favre is, obviously he's a white male. He was the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. I can't remember the years off the top of my head, but he played for a very long time, and it was always like he was the guy. Oh, he threw the ball. Oh, look at him hug his lineman. He's like a kid. No, he's an adult playing a kid's game. It was always this image of him just being this pure, holy dude. Like he's just having fun out there. Like, you gotta love him, you know. And then now, present day, this guy decides like, yo, I'm going to take money that's meant for people. Yeah, I mean, people need this money, but we're going to funnel that over this way so we can get some shit built. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of fucked up. When you could have just got sponsors to do that. Like, you're rich and famous. Like, you could have just got sponsors to help you with that. But now I'm gonna take this route because nobody gives a F about none of them people for real. I mean, think about it. He did that, and what are we talking about? The bull having an affair. Okay, let's be real. The fact that he had an affair on Nia Long, and I'm moving up to the coach. I'm kind of pissed at him for that, man. Like, Nia Long, though, bro. Nia Long. Like, I mean, what are you doing?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead,
cool.
Go ahead.
I mean,
I want you real quick while I hear you. Explain that Brett Favre thing. I kind of tried to touch it, but I think I might have missed some details.
Well, no, what he did is him and the governor of Mississippi used inappropriated funds for welfare and used that money to his daughter is a volleyball player at his alma mater, Southern Mississippi. So they used that money to go towards funding a new gym for her instead of allowing it to go to the poor people, like we discussed before a few episodes ago about the Jackson, Mississippi water crisis. Ironically, this is one of their big celebs, and he uses the funds to fund for a gym. And I think it's starting to get traction a little bit now because people were saying okay, people cheat, because again, it's not diminishing the fact that he cheated on his woman, but people cheat. But this dude stole, again, Mississippi's the poorest state in the United States. Mm-hmm. And then you steal $5 million worth of welfare money towards a gym.
Hold on. That's just towards the gym. They said overall $77 million that got pushed around.
That's crazy.
Well, right.
Mismanaged. Let's use that word. Misappropriation.
It's and now there's a call for maybe to try to get him out the Hall of Fame. That's not going to happen. But he's always been a slime bucket. That's the thing about him. But he's a good old boy. So they always kind of pat him on the back for being a good old wild boy. When he had those text messages sending them to that the intern for the Jets. He was sending his meat and all that stuff like that. He's always been a grind ball and always got away with it. It's just now that everybody start having an outcry for it, they're deciding that, we're going to talk about it. Because a man cheating on a woman, Beyonce and Jay-Z made a whole 2 albums off of it and monetized on their cheating. So I don't think most people make songs about cheating. I'm not diminishing cheating, but what I'm saying is it's not something uncommon, but stealing money when you have money and you can use other resources to get money there.
Mm-hmm.
You're a Hall of Famer. You can get speaking engagements and have that money appropriated to going towards this gym. But to steal the poorest state's revenue for people that really need that's just a trifling thing, and it's not acceptable.
Yeah,
I think that one, we have to say allegedly, unfortunately.
Oh no, they got the text messages. They got the text messages.
No, I'm saying
he's hard. He's caught.
No, I'm saying because his statement is that he didn't know that the money was coming from welfare.
Okay, so we can say allegedly. That's fine. To cover our ass, we can say
remember
allegedly.
the second group of texts said are they gonna be able? He said that they're gonna be able to track this. So when you ask where it's gonna be tracked, you're already aware that you're using funds that you're supposed to.
for our legal safety.
Yeah, so we don't get booted off
because
right.
I mean, I ain't trying to get sued by no folk.
Yeah, they ain't gonna get nothing from me. I'm broke.
He's saying
waiting till I die to get their money.
They might expedite it. You better be careful.
Facts.
But he's saying he didn't know that the money was coming from there and it was going through his foundation. He was just donating money from his foundation. Didn't know where the money was coming from. Cool, I hear you. I think what he's doing. The problems always become when there's something that's legally wrong and something that is considered morally wrong. Now, both are morally wrong. Cheaters are cheaters, and people are going to look at cheaters as cheaters. It's a story to run with. No one would know this man's name, his wife, nothing if he wasn't going to the NBA championships. So the fact that you just left a championship and it's Nia Long, it's like, oh, we got to talk about this. Like Brett Favre, they don't really want to talk about that because then that shows how easy it was for them to get $77 million out of state money and go towards something that wasn't needed. Meanwhile, you're in Mississippi where the shit's going on in Jackson, but all your money is going to a damn volleyball court at a college. So it's like you're showing like this unbalance of what should be happening, which should not be happening. So let's put the attention over here on this dude, which the only reason this is going as big as it is, I heard or allegedly, the chick that he had the affair with was somebody in the executive office's wife.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know it was someone's wife. I knew it was somebody in the office, but I guess I didn't.
In the office.
Okay.
Yeah,
but however, it was her husband who told.
That's what I'm saying. So the staffer that he had the affair with is somebody like high up in the ranks of the team.
I didn't know that.
That's why they're not leaking out who she is, and that's why she hasn't had any repercussions. But the problem is that again, him being like most jobs have a code of conduct. Like we're not going to act like supervisors and managers shouldn't, speak with that. I get it.
Everybody do that at every job, though. Am I wrong?
This right.
In any office setting or any type of job where there's male and female, people are going to
date where they work.
Mess around. Exactly.
It's familiar. Most people date where they work.
That's what I mean. It's common. Whether or not it's wrong, it's common. You know what I'm saying?
I think this is the thing. Well, my second point is the conversation is going to, oh my God, I can't believe you cheated on Nia Long. Nobody's exempt of getting cheated on.
That's what I'm saying.
It don't matter who you are. It's
Halle Berry, Beyonce.
Nobody's exempt.
Cheated on.
So
that's real.
Like
that's
saying
real.
like I can't believe he cheated on her. You have no idea what their home issues are.
That's real.
Like we know her as a celebrity. We don't know her as a person.
Personally, yeah. No, you're right.
And we don't know him as a person. She knows him. She probably knows he was cheating. It's probably not a surprise to her. And it's
the fact that it's public is probably like
right. And it's like now that's embarrassing. But most people understand if you mess with somebody in professional sports, there's a high possibility you're going to get cheated on. And they get that. It's a part of the game. It's just I think it's messed up the levels that they're taking it on for him having an affair and then just dragging it the way that they're dragging it, making it this bigger issue. And there's there's a whole lot bigger things to talk about. So, I mean, I think Brett Favre is hella wrong. If he knew what was going on, because I'll still say allegedly. If he knew what was happening, he's hella wrong for doing that. Because that welfare money is like that's just fucked up.
He's
like
a scumbag, yo. Allegedly, his
coverage, the minimum coverage that he received, he only started getting traction on it because of everybody was like they both stories kind of took flight at the same time. But then, like you said, again, her celebrity plays a part in it. You know what I mean? Because she's actually probably more famous than he is technically. That's people.
Real.
You know what I mean? But
coincidentally,
he just took the team to the finals. So you know what I mean? So people have an idea who he is.
But we still can't say his last name.
I can.
It's Udoka. You know what I mean? But the thing is with Brett Favre, like he just within 2 days ago just got suspended from his radio show, because of the backlash. But he was still doing that and still getting a thing. And I think that's a much bigger issue where a rich person that can get away with that's a true scumbucket.
Yeah.
Like you said, because lying and being deceitful to steal money and
from people in need, you're a piece of trash,
struggling. Like that's
right.
Like you're a piece of shit, and it don't even matter what color. It's not even that he's white. Anybody that does shit like that is a piece of shit. Like you personally know people that get help from the system, because, people that take advantage, but you know people that need it too.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like to know that some scumbucket that's rich that could really just get a bunch of his friends to donate. You know what I'm saying? And get what he needs built. Nah, let's just funnel this from over here and even do that.
But is the reason
like 150,000 that he was putting towards the towards the volleyball court?
But here's the thing: is the coverage a racial issue? Like, is the fact that the coverage that is?
I do. I would say yay.
Is it the reason that Udoka is getting more coverage because he's black and the Farve is because he's white? Do we think that?
I think that's the hopes is that the Udoka case take over presidents over the Favre. They
Whatever.
be put to the back burner.
I don't think so.
Or, okay, maybe you could say it's just that it's him, Brett Favre. Remember, I was saying before it came on how he was viewed, like, especially when he was playing football. Oh, he's just a kid out there, and all that shit. They used to say, like, they love him. They love him. So it's like, I feel like maybe it ain't racial. Maybe it's just that's another story that we could try to cover up and not talk about this. Let's focus on this. Because come on, you can't think that that's the same thing. He cheated. Oh, big whoopee fucking dude. He cheated. You know what I'm saying? Like, this guy stole millions of dollars from poor people. There's no way that they compare.
But I think
you know
I think that's the thing. You're arguing pop culture and politics. So pop culture is cheating. Like this Brett Favre shit, that's politics. That's going to go the whole way up the line. So everybody that's involved with that, everybody's gonna start getting indictments for that. So it's like y'all don't want to talk about that. Like keep that.
So
keep
why?
That low. That's a federal court case they about to have to deal with. Because
so why is it? But no, let me ask Shad that. To Shad's point, okay. So there's politics, but he's also known because he's an entertainer. So again, what is the true? Yeah, he's a football player, Hall of Famer, and he's on the commercials with the Go Band with Jerry Rice, and he has a national syndicated show. So is his minimum amount of coverage because of the politic aspect, or is it because of the racial aspect, or is it because
it's the politic aspect? You're in an election year that is probably the most tumultuous election year, like maybe in the last 50 years. So every office right now counts. So Mississippi, they can't afford to lose the governor to a scandal on some welfare money. Like that's not something they can
it's the former governor. I don't even think it's the current governor. That's
okay. So former governor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mississippi, they don't need heat right now, regardless of what the reason is. Like they don't need any other kind of heat going down there. You got Bull. What's the black dude that's always like making campaigns, running for Senate right now? The one that was smoking weed. We put him on the show like a couple like last season, I believe. So you got a lot.
Oh, that was black dude. The one that was in New Orleans?
Nah, he's in Mississippi. He's in Jackson.
Okay.
But it's like you have a lot of that going on. So that situation, you don't really want to bring any attention to that. And then wherever the favors start, it's like, I need y'all to not really deal with this until we get everything cleared up legally. So you got to kind of be quiet and so you know what's going on. Everything like the cheating shit, that's like Tom Cruise and like Jennifer Aniston. Like no one really cares. It's just we're gonna keep talking about it because there's something to keep talking about. It's pop culture. There's a different. I don't think it's a racial thing at all. I think it's just the matter of what's at stake. And what's at stake is a lot higher.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Flip it. Flip the colors in the. There's the white man that cheated on his white wife. He's in the NBA, and his white wife is an actor, a famous actor. Then there's a black man who used to be a football player that stole money from, a state, and is trying to get his daughter some shit built at her school. What would the coverage focus on that?
Yeah, that's the thing. You go back to Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie and them. Like that shit was in newspapers.
But you gotta have another story. I'm talking similar story.
That's it. So you go from that, and then you find a black person that is stealing federal money. Kwame Kilpatrick. It took a while for them to start talking about him, and then when they started talking about him, it got heavier. But they already had their case made. So it's like he was going ape shit in Detroit. And it was quiet for years. They knew about it, but it was quiet. They kept it out of the tabloids until they put a case up against him. Then it started going crazy. So I think that's the balance of it.
See, I think there's a racial element, but I also think Brett Favre has always been coddled by the media. Period. So I think I think that, like I said again, I think Brett Favre is always considered to be like where Tom Brady is like the good old American clean white guy, but he doesn't get in scandals. But Brett Favre has always been, oh man, he's just one of the guys, and I think that's part of the thing. It's like, oh man, he like if you attack him, it's like attacking America,
right? Because
he's viewed as, like you said, a Mississippian old town, like even though he has this money, he's still just one of the guys. He wants to, he likes to to plow with his tractor. He likes to live in Mississippi and do farming in the off season. That type of shit. I think they view it as an attack of America, and I think that's the angle of racism that they don't want to do. And that's even on the way they speak of it, because his show only got suspended. The text messages are all proven that he's already acknowledged some of the wrongdoing. Like I said, even when he had the text messages when he was married, they had to beg his wife and pay his wife to stay with him during a relationship because they said he was abusing painkillers and chasing women. You know what I mean? And it's been documented. It's just the fact that it exposes too many people, to your point, Shaw, with the politics, but it's also the fact that they like to keep their image of Brett Favre as, oh, he's just all-American. I'm telling you.
I don't think that they're willing to risk their political careers to save Brett Favre. I don't think that. I don't. Like, it's Brett Favre can go. There's 100 more Brett Favres. You can go.
There's not.
But there is. You have every other white quarterback, every other great
it's
white
not the
tennis
same,
player.
No, it's not.
Brett Favre's not every other white quarterback.
I hear what you're saying, but we can take someone and mold them into that person. If you
You
want
can't.
you can make white people can make kings.
No, all right. Let me explain why it's not.
They create kingmakers.
Give me 2 seconds real quick. They did the top 100 NFL players of all time. There's only 9 quarterbacks. Brett Favre is one of them. Brett Favre is the only one like Brett Favre. John Elway's not like him. He came from Stanford elite. Tom Brady, Joe Montana, they all come from Brett Favre is the only one. That's what
I'm saying, fam. If you think that
America
in its institution has no problem throwing away one person to keep power, that one person can go.
They're not going to throw them away because they don't have to, because America never had to. That's my point.
But America does when people start standing up. You got to let somebody ride. Somebody got to take the bullet. Somebody got to go.
Boy.
And it's either you're going to take the bullet or the government of a state's going to take the bullet that you're trying to keep red. It's like Brett Favre can bounce back. They'll be fine. Like he can bounce back. If we lose these seats from a scandal right now when we're trying to like get control of a country, that's the issue.
That doesn't even matter if it's the previous governor. They're not going to lose a seat.
Maybe
he'll take the fall. Maybe he'll take the fall, and they'll still love on Brett Favre.
But that's the thing. So the governor takes that fall. How did y'all get $77 million of welfare money and nobody saw this coming? How did y'all not flag this? How did nobody in any office not see this was happening? You can't explain that. Like, somebody knows what's going on. The shit's gonna go up the ladder. So somebody at the top is approving this shit, and they're like, look the other way. Push it down here to the college. You need money to go to this funding part of the school. Somebody knows, and it's like I don't have faith that they're willing to let everyone else fall down to save Brett Favre because he's the lily white quarterback of the NFL.
I'm telling you, he's top 100. He's the only one, and he's super redneck. I'm telling you. But we'll revisit this because this definitely go on full. We got time, so that means you got to keep tuning in because we got to get to our next quick hits and our topics. But you see, we disagree, but we'll revisit Brett Favre and Ime because that definitely should be.
Yeah, his shit gonna fall off because nobody's gonna care. Like, another month, like nobody's gonna give a shit about him cheating on Nia Long. Like,
exactly.
Who cares? Like, that's just gonna be done.
I bet that's because they're black. Fuck them, niggas.
I mean, you want them to keep talking about them?
What's the next quick hit we got, real quick, fellas?
I just want to cheat with Nia Long.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you need to grow up, Bugs. Like, you better than that.
Nia Long,
we got
I don't know, man. She on the list. Anyway, let's move
around quick.
All right, so we got this California school district giving kids narcan to slow down fentanyl overdoses. So apparently they're passing these pills out to school age kids from kindergarten to 12th grade because of how high overdoses are in the school system. So they feel that it's a good idea to give them a drug just in case you decide to overdose. Pop this pill, in case anything happens, pop that, you're gonna be good. So it's like I feel like what they're doing, I get it. I think that's something that should be like at a nurse's office or something, just in case, and then you have like some clinician kind of thing happening. I don't think you should be passing out pills to kids. which is crazy to me because you can pass them a pill to keep them from having a fentanyl overdose, but you won't give them condoms. Like that doesn't fucking make sense to me. But
I didn't even know that the narcan came in the pill form. I thought it was only the spray. So they actually have a pill for it? Because like I thought the spray was like the spray works. Wouldn't the spray work faster than the pill, or am I just overthinking this?
I don't know.
I
don't know.
I think it's so weird that again in thought like California is always kind of proactive and trying to be ahead of the curve on some things. I get it, but being like doing that for kids that's so young. But the problem is that. All right, so let me be black for a moment. It's real weird to watch. They're so proactive now on this fentanyl thing. When we had the crack epidemic, it was like, oh, figure the hell out. You know what I mean? But it's like, but you're going to be proactive enough that you want to give kindergartners, first and second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth graders Narcan. Like that kind of boggles me. Like, what do you expect? Like, what kind of homes or what kind of environments do you think these kids are in where they're going to be that susceptible to that type of drug at that age?
But bro, also when you think about it, we was joking about it being enabler, but that's real. Think about a young kid.
That's what it is.
It's like, yo, I can do the drug because this is going to save.
They're going to give it to me.
It's really that simple. Like, it's pretty fucking dumb. Like, let's not sit here and pass out Narcan to kids, man. I just think I kind of do a shot. We can have it in a nurse's office, or maybe talk to a parent, right? Get it to the parent.
No,
I mean, like, because you could. No, I'm just saying, like, you can have like a meeting.
No. I'm just saying. Mm-hmm.
Oh, like you can have some type of school meeting or conference or whatever, and say, hey, we're passing this out. Like, there's an epidemic amongst our kids, and they're ODing, so we want to make sure y'all have this in the home just in case. But just directly saying, here,
so
6,
Eddie,
7, 8, 9, 10-year-old, take this.
Nasal spray in a shot.
Say it again.
It's a nasal spray in a shot. That's the forms that come in.
Okay, so I thought that because but either way, it doesn't matter what the form it comes in. It's dumb as hell. Like, why are you?
This is like it's like sending every child from kindergarten through 12th grade home with a morning after pill.
What?
It's the same.
I agree with that. Go have unprotected sex and accidentally get pregnant.
If you accidentally get pregnant, pop this pill.
Exactly.
Like if you accidentally overdose, take a snort.
Take this nasal spray.
It's like you're making it. You're validating.
Yeah,
right, but
you're encouraging it, actually.
But at kindergarten, that's the thing that has me more boggled than anything. Like kindergartners and like first or second grade. Like, think about what we're saying, like, and like what's the message that we're sending to 5, 6, 7, and 8-year-olds? Like, you know what I mean? Like
the kids, they probably send them home in a little packet to the parents, and it's like in case something happens with your kid. Like, you know, kids pop, like they'll go into like their grandmom's stuff and like take pills. Like, you got some dumb-dumbs that take their grandparents' diabetes pills. You know, you're not.
It's not even dumb. They're like, I got a 6-year-old, bro. They're not really developed enough yet. Like, they're curious.
That's what I'm saying.
You know
but
I'm saying?
No, I'm saying like
that's
those
why
kids.
Why they are. If you get a young kid that age that's actually taking a drug, they were curious in the first place. That's why they tried it. Now I don't know how many 6-year-olds are.
Right,
doing
that's
heroin
my thing.
And shit like that.
Right,
but,
that's my thing. I get it. If the kids are like products of parents who had them, and they, you know what I mean, like they were heroin.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah,
you know what I mean. But yeah, like if they, like, you know, and they come out and that's what they're doing because they have, you know, reactions and things like that. Cool, I get it. But it's like in California, they're just taking it as like, and it's one of the richer school districts that's doing it, where they're just blanking it like, there's a possibility. We're just gonna like, because all the money, but it's just so crazy to me that they're so willing just to be like, hey, 5 and 6-year-old, let's just try this because there's a possibility the way shit's rolling, you might be out there on that shit. Like, just try it. Like, it blows my mind. Like,
I think to throw some weight in what Bub was saying is like how this is not epidemic, but you know, the crack era was like the criminalization of the drugs. One was intentional, one wasn't. So you did one on purpose. Like, you wanted to tear down communities and break up families and put people in jail. That was on purpose. when everybody started finding out what Adderall do, and getting on these other pills, like even when I worked at the treatment center I was at in Malibu, the medication to get you off of drugs was worse than the actual drug. So you'll get addicted. You'll get addicted to the medication to break you from the drug instead of being on the drug. So now you can't get off the medication. So it's over prescribing because you're making more money every time you write a script, and the people that are in the industry make more money from selling it to you. It's something that wasn't supposed to go as far as it did, and now they're trying to figure out how to fix it because this one was an accident. Like, that wasn't supposed to happen. That one is racial. I'll say that absolutely.
Oh, you back on the right side of things.
You probably want to say something racial, huh?
No, that's racial. I can't.
I thought you didn't think that racism existed or something.
It's hard for me to say like everything is racist. I think some things
everything ain't racist, but sometimes the undertone is there. The racial undertone is definitely
absolutely
there.
Racial undertones are they're pretty much always present.
Mm-hmm.
Like, absolutely. Some other things is just, it's power is bigger than race. That's all.
I just got a message. I do got to clarify something real quick. I am black all the time. I just received a message. Somebody said, "You're not just black for the moment, sir. You're black all the time." So I just wanted to, and especially since that bossy person let me know I need to say that. So this is for you. I'm black all the time. Definitely pro-black bub, but I just had to make sure that we clarified that for the moment, that we're just gonna go straight into the race with that issue, because that issue was a racial issue. Most of these issues are. Oh, here you go.
That Brett Favre shit ain't racial. That's a power move. So somebody, one of the Facebook users said, to be honest with y'all, these young kids are able to get a hold of drugs and drugs real easy, and some actually using drugs. Which, yeah, I mean, they are. It's true. Listen, y'all watch Euphoria? Y'all watch the series?
Your phone's breaking. I mean, your signal's breaking up. I didn't hear what you said. Repeat yourself, please.
Have y'all watched Euphoria?
Yes.
It's hard for me to watch.
I do watch that, and that's a crazy show.
That's why it is. It's hard to watch.
But the drug usage on there with the teenagers and the. But see, they're in high school though. They're not 6 years old. That's the difference.
But that's what I'm saying. But they like her sister
passing this out to high schoolers like you would pass out condoms or anything like that. Like, I get that, but elementary school, bro.
But you got to think, man, we was in middle school. People were smoking weed in middle school.
Yeah. Okay, let's be real. That was my first time trying. Yeah. Okay, I get it.
So it's like it was happening then. And then if you had one of them
but we're still talking about elementary, bro.
But if you have rebellious young boys, I know people that were smoking weed in elementary school.
See, the peer pressure's a mug.
Like, it's that. And then again, if you're in the wrong environment, in the wrong household, you probably got access to some harder stuff than what you're supposed to at a young age.
Let me ask y'all this. So do we think this drug use is causing all these like these fights and things that we see going on? Just real quick before we hop off this, like, is that another reason that you think like the administrations are taking like these precautions? Like recently around here, I don't know if Shad and Book, because y'all in Atlanta and Virginia, but like there's a big brawl up the high, and then Stilton there was a person who got stabbed with a pencil. Even in Middletown, like the kids were doing that hazing thing. Do we think like these drugs are like influencing these kids to do these wild behaviors? Like, is there a way that, like, how do you really, like, outside of giving them drugs, how else can you get kids to get in the right direction with this shit?
I think it's both. I think one you're immature, right? And you don't really think straight. And part of that is like what we were talking about earlier, like your guidance, like who's guiding you, who's pulling you along through life. So maybe you're not going to always make the right decision, so you do dumb stuff like that, right? But I also think that when people get on drugs, they do some stupid shit. Like, you know what I mean? So I think it's going to be both. Both things.
Let me ask you this though.
No, but that's basically saying like everybody that's fighting has some kind of drug use going on as well.
No, I said both things can be true.
No, I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying, like, to say is the drug issue like a thing with the fights. I don't think the
fights is thing. But let me ask Boogs and Eddie, because y'all both have high schoolers. Like, you talk to them. What is their
Hold
mentality?
on, answer the question. You can't just switch over to bugs and petty with their kids.
You got a pet dog. Nobody want to hear your dog. Nobody want to hear about obedience school.
I got
obedience school. They got
have to respect my opinion.
The crazy thing though is because Boogs has a daughter in high school and Eddie has a son. So that perspective, like, what do y'all take from like when you talk to your high schoolers about like drugs and fights and everything that's going on? Because they're in a different state than where we was as far as like drugs and everything. So what do y'all take from it?
Nah, just the drugs are different. The kind of drug is different. The usage ain't different.
No. The kind of drug is different from the school. Typically in the hood, you're not always doing the harder drugs. I mean, maybe now.
But y'all kids don't go to hood school. That's why I'm asking you. Both of your kids go to Both of your kids go to like affluent schools. That's the point, though. That y'all both like.
So what I tell my
asking.
son is basically this, right? Here's the thing: realizing you can't stop your kid. Like your kid's gonna try things, right? Because we tried things. No matter what that thing is, whether it's a drug, whether you're having sex, whether you're drinking, whatever. Sometimes kids just naturally, out of curiosity, just peer pressure. I see that in the comments. Kids just try things, right? So I tell my son, who's in high school, like, we always have to talk about sex, number one. Like, we always talk about that. I try to stay on his ear on that because, you know, he can think typical when it comes to that. But then it's like when we talk about drugs, like, for example, I know a few of his friends that vape and things of that nature or whatever.
Okay.
And I always try to make sure that he's an athlete. So I'm always like trying to use that side of it. Like, all right, listen, drugs is bad. Like, that's typical. Drugs are bad. Say no. Just say no, drugs right? But all right, but if you're going to smoke weed, because let's be real, that's what it is. If you're going to smoke, I can't stop him from trying it. If he's with one of his homies at a party and they vape, because vapes are the thing now, like, I can't stop that. But what I can tell him is how it's going to affect his body, right? So if you get into smoking weed or you get into doing harder drugs, you know, because we've had the conversation about fentanyl overdoses. We've had that conversation. I try to let him know the real about it. Like, yo, flat out, you do something like that, like fentanyl, it's going to probably kill you. So if one of your friends is giving you something and you don't know what it is, don't take it, number one. Don't, if you're trying, even if you are trying to smoke or something like that, like, you got to be conscious about what you're putting in your body. Then you're an athlete. You don't want to ruin your health. Smoking is bad for your lungs. So I keep it simple like that. Like, I just try to touch every single basis with it when it comes to my kid. Like, my kids, plural. Because I got a daughter who's in the 7th grade, and they're smoking and all that in middle school now, too. They're doing drugs in middle school, believe that. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of keep the conversation similar, but try to hit it from the aspects of, you know, she's a girl, he's a boy. The pressures is going to kind of be different. It really kind of is. Because my son might be on some, that's cool, me and the homie sitting there smoking or whatever. I'm going to be honest, I think sometimes women kind of handle things like that a little bit differently. They, dare I say, a little bit more mature. Like, I'm just being real. Like, women,
no, you're fine.
More like, think about it. You got a daughter and a son the same age. If you think my son might actually smoke, I don't think that nobody can pressure my daughter into smoking. Maybe they can pressure her into other things. But I don't. The drug thing is. I just feel like it's kind of different when it comes to. Am I making sense?
No, you're fine. I just want to get. We still got stuff. I just want to hear Boogs because he has a son.
Go ahead, my fault.
His is reversed from yours. Like, his daughter's in high school and then his son's in middle school. So how do you approach it with drugs, peer pressure, all that stuff going on, Boogs? Like, how do you?
Basically, it's the same thing with my son, but my son won't really touch nothing. I mean, he's adamant about it on his own will, but like Eddie said it. Well, he's an athlete. You see what I'm saying? So he don't want nothing to tarnish it. My daughter, she's not that either, but it's not that that's not in their environment, because it's still in every environment. People say, oh, my kids go to a good school. Most of the time, your good schools got a better selection and choice.
I was going to say, the better the school, the better the drug.
I
was going to say that.
You see what I'm saying? So, they do go to better schools, but at the same time, temptation is everywhere. Drugs is everywhere. And I think this go even back, this falls under two umbrellas, not just the drugs. But if y'all remember, it was a whole generation, and it still is babies having babies. And people's grandparents being like, 39, 38. You know, see what I'm saying? And it's like all this plays a part, because if that mentality, the hood mentality was passed, as we call it hood mentality, it comes down through the generations. But then you got to think about things. These kids are seeing things in these schools this day and time that we didn't have to see in our time. Different situations from the drugs.
Yeah, they got friends that are ODing on these hard drugs. Like, my son knows, a couple people personally when he was in middle school, not even high school, that OD'd off of doing drugs like fentanyl, like whatever type of drug. They shooting up. They're doing all the things. So when we grew up, you know, if a person that's like doing heroin or something like that, we kind of judge them. Let's be real. Oh, you ain't, because weed's always number. Like I read a comment that said most kids don't consider weed a drug. Most people don't consider weed a drug. So smoking weed and getting high was one thing, but me shooting up a needle or smoking some crack, that's a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying?
Shoot some crack. But hold on, I just wanted to touch on that.
You know what I mean? Smoking crack.
Because my point for asking you two is because Shad made a valid point with the fact that though it's big in California, it's the affluent areas. And that's why I was asking both of you, because again, y'all both have kids in the middle school and high school realm of an affluent area. So I just wanted to touch on that and hear your perspective, how you can approach it.
You should let Shad talk. He looks like he wants to say something.
He's going to talk about obedience.
He's so offended because he didn't get an opinion.
Hold on. Before Shad go, Sean, hold on 1 minute.
Oh, hold on. You gonna read the comments from the viewers?
Hold on. We gotta include them. Hold on. Hold that thought. We got Sean Ray Williams.
Viewers get more respect than I do.
Sean Ray Williams. Kids are immature and try to experiment with everything. Truth. Don't know if whatever they are trying is laced with another drug. Then we got Shannon Rain White Wilson. The pressures are different based on the gender. Most parents, women included, are more open with boys than girls. With boys, it's about what to do if something happens. With girls, it's don't do it. True point. Yeah, she also stated these
bad vibes to my co-host.
She also said these middle schoolers are very open. At my son's school, some kids were caught having oral sex in the bathroom, and he's only in the 6th grade. Well,
that's a fact too, because my daughter has told me that is went on at her school, and she knows about it.
You're welcome, Queen.
So is that a byproduct of like social media and like the ideas and everything?
Social media plays a part in everything.
All right.
Someone said, "Let's Shad talk."
I appreciate you. Thank you.
I think that's Micah.
Facebook user.
I think that's Micah.
That's probably a relative.
It's Micah.
Yeah. That's Ghost Shad. Like Shad's Ghost when he lit that sage. Who just has Sage on deck to wave around on our show?
No. That's Mike energy. That Shad talk. That ain't him. That's the bro.
That ain't him. I looked at the at a comment above that. They type way too well.
Nah, that's my.
All these words.
Yo, all right. So Shad, wrap this up real quick. Go finish what you guys say real quick on that.
So I think we have to acknowledge that the kids now they're just growing up a whole lot faster than what we had to. They have more access to everything than what we had. So it's like the fights are getting bigger because you have a different kind of community. So before, like, it was the neighborhood people. So if we all lived in the same neighborhood, then I'm rock with my dudes. Now it's a matter of like, who are you connected to through whatever group you're on whatever social media platform you're on, whatever group chat you're in, whatever. So it's now you're fighting with dudes that you're really not friends with because it's like, oh, we just don't like them dudes. That's them dudes always popping off on whatever. So now we got to fight them. It gets bigger because it started with World Star. That became like the popular way of like just watching the fight. Before, if you missed the fight, you heard about it at lunch. Yeah. Now it's like you're videotaping the fight and everybody's sharing the fight. So it's like you got the cyberbullying aspect happening on top of like these dudes don't really know each other. You're in an environment with social media that you don't know how to communicate with each other anymore. So you can't like have a dialogue with somebody that you're disagreeing with. It's just you jump straight to fight. So I think that the issue, one, there's no one really in the schools that have the respect that you're not going to not fight if they're there. So that respect level's not there. A lot of Black male teachers are not in schools. A lot of male teachers, period, are not in schools. The kids feel like they're running the school, which basically they are. Everyone that is in authority in the school are afraid of the kids. So it's like you pretty much put them into a playpen to run their own world at a young age with the access to do whatever they want to do. If I call my dad, it's going to be a problem. Y'all don't want him to come up to the school. And now the teachers are afraid if we punish you too bad, you might come shoot the school up. So we're not going to do that either. It's just everybody's afraid of the kids, and kids are like running everything now.
And parents are younger. Parents are younger, so they're still a little bit immature from that aspect of parenting.
And even the young parents, it's like you're not a lot. I'm not going to say a lot of them. You have the younger parents that aren't really parenting. It's just your kid does something, you're yelling and cussing them out. They don't know
because they still got the rider mentality. I'm gonna ride with my kid, right or wrong, and ain't nobody checking my kid. And I mean, sometimes somebody gotta check your kid, especially if you don't do it.
So you come up, you cuss out the principal, then you cuss out your kid going back to the car. You get home, you cuss out everybody else about cussing out your kid, and it's just like the kid come back to school like, y'all want her to come back,
right?
No doubt.
So I think it's a big problem.
Be a better parent. Work hard at being a great parent. You're never going to be 100% correct, but make sure you just stick to taking care of your kid and be responsible for your kid and their actions and pay attention to them. Take their phones, look at them sometimes. Make sure you know who their friends are. All that shit. Read their bill. Read their thing. So in
the words of Issa Rae, fuck them kids.
That's a dog parent.
That's the problem now. What we got next? Like we got who's the
where he
probably gonna go. You gotta go check the dogs. So, all right, let's jump into this topic.
Let's go.
We're gonna get into that dumbass later.
Cool.
So, all right, we're starting off. You know what I mean? Are black men broken, misunderstood, or simply unappreciated? So we have the negative stereotypes in society. We have all the perceptions, things like that. I don't want to just say, well, let's just start off with that. Like, go around this. Do y'all think that black men are broken?
I want to hear from my blacker than black brother, Bob. Go ahead.
Yeah, because we making colorization. That's the problem we doing. But anyway, what I'll say is that I don't think black men are broken. I think that there's a lot that doesn't get discussed being a black man. You know, like there's a lot of pressure, and just like anything, if you see your mom get abused by your dad, there's more than likely a chance you might be able to do that, or you might go the other way. If you keep hearing that men ain't shit, black men ain't shit, yeah, I think it plays into a psyche. I think there's stresses and pressures that go unspoken that cause these kids to think the way they think. So I don't think that we're broken. I just think that we've had to start taking accountability into really getting us to going into the right direction. We're not broken though, because we can be fixed. There are good men out there. And even though like a lot of us can really pinpoint, it may not have been our dad, but we can definitely pinpoint a positive black man that was in our life, maybe one or a few, you know what I mean? Or even as you got older, because we're all in our 40s now, you've come across some. So we're not broken. And then we all sit here as fathers, even though shot as a puppy, and we're still good men. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's really about changing the narrative. We're not broken. We're not broken.
Yeah.
What you got, Book? Since you wanted to wait on me, what you got? Don't be trying to piggyback on my shit.
Nah.
Talk,
Seriously.
black man.
I'm gonna go with the fact of everything you said. I agree with everything, but are we misunderstood? At times, I believe so. Broken, I believe some are, but that's because of the things they've been through in their own individual journey. So I believe we fall under all. There are some that may fall under all umbrellas, but what you got was the main point when you said changing the narrative, because some are misunderstood, but some are misunderstood before you even know who we are. You see what I mean? Like some have interpretations of us in their mind. So no matter where we go, whether it's a corner store, gas station, supermarket, there may be times where we're misunderstood. Why are we in this store? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? But I mean,
but is that misunderstood, or is that misunderstood, or is that just
yes?
I think when they say we're broken, like they're profiling because those narratives have been there. But I think we fall susceptible to those at times. And I think that's part of the problem. Like we were saying with the young boys earlier, as far as the hip hop murders, again, we have to start really. We're not broken. We're not broken because we're strong people. We've overcome for so long. We have a narrative of always being able to figure out how to get from these negative things that are placed upon us. That's our nature, to be survivors. So we're not broken. We just gotta really like tucker down and focus on what we really need to do as men, because the black boys are suffering because of, I want to say something, but I'm not gonna say. I let somebody else go. I don't want to.
I want to know. Let me just chime in real quick. Because go ahead. First of all, remind me the question one more time. I'm sorry.
How you gonna chime in on the question?
Well, no. I know what it is. Just remind me real quick, because I was
black men
are black men broken, or black men broken. Nah, he said broken first.
Gotcha.
We're just going broken first.
But right now we're talking about broken,
right? When you say broken, right? I feel like the answer would probably have to be yes, because it's like no matter what the reason is, whether it's the lack of guidance, whether it's lack of society, whether it's the lack of whatever it is that we lack that puts us where we ended up in, you know what I mean, in this country, it has to be all right. Let me rephrase that. I do think I think work with me here. I do think that we're broken. I do think that there's some fixing that needs to happen, because I think the fact that we can do the things, just touching back on the black on black crime thing, where we got us robbing us and glorifying the material things rather than, here's a good example. Let me give you this example. There's so many of us black folks that, let's just say I hit the Powerball, right? There's people in my life that will prefer me to give them money rather than help them start their business. So you want this lump sum of whatever amount of money, and you can run from it, and you're gonna come back to me with your hand out. Versus I can help you be successful and possibly have generational wealth with a couple businesses, and you and your family will eat. So white folks will do that. That's what they would do. They will start the businesses and they will eat. You see what I'm saying? A lot of us is cool with, just give me a few stacks and I'm gonna go party and do whatever else dumb shit that I want to do below the money. Good.
I mean, if you live in a scenario in a stage of like where you're in poverty, you just want to feel good for a moment. I do that, but I think like a lot of people.
I'm not saying that that's bad. No. We all like nice things.
But what I'm saying is, like, in your scenario where you say like, you know, lottery. But what I think, like, when you say like, if you were to hit the lottery, I think most people would take money. Like, you know what I mean? Like most people would rather take money for somebody, or like, but if you're starting from a below average
if you took
circumstance, you know what I mean? Like,
if you take the money, you're going to probably invest, most likely, correct? I'm going to cut you off, but that's what you would do, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you're going to buy something nice, but you want to make more money off that money. I mean, that's the natural thing. I need to double or triple this money. Not everybody thinks like that with us, huh? Like a lot of people quit buying a bar or.
So let me ask you this. No, you're great. Like, you're great because you bring up a valid point. You said that you feel that we're broken. What do you think is the cause of us being broken?
I think it's our history in this country, bro. We came here on slavery. Like, it started there. Like, so you got these rich white, you know what I mean, slave masters or slave owners, whatever you want to call them, and they're eating off of literally off our backs. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
That's the start of their generational wealth. They got a business. They got a legit, I ain't gonna say it's a legit business, but they got a business going. And they're making money off this business. They're capitalizing off of it. And this is something, because the money that they've been stacking, they can pass down through generation to generation. We ain't got nothing. We're the ones that's originally being sold, and then they throw us in the projects and shit like that. And what are we supposed to do with that? Because how do we get ahead? So now they put drugs in the community and things like that. They make guns easy to access for us, and we're dumb. We just go for it. We go for it. Bro, we're like, something has to happen to click in our heads as a whole for us to realize, like, yo, this isn't life, yo. Like, I get that every race has their crimes. Like, it's not, black people aren't the only people that rob people. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we feel like we're forced to put in a situation to commit crimes. Not all of us have Go ahead, my fault. Go ahead, bro.
No, you're good. You finish your thought.
I was wrapping up. You know me.
Now
I
we
can
got
talk for hours. Go ahead.
Now we can let Bugs hop in on this broken thing. Like, did you have anything else you wanted to touch on, Bugs, about broken? I asked, Shot, I don't know if you missed it, but I asked because Eddie said he feels that we're broken. So yeah, I just wanted him to elaborate what made him feel that we're broken.
Because we're disadvantaged. What was just said in the comment. I think that's what I was basically trying to say. We were broke here. We had already been at a disadvantage. So
the whole time, and it's not changing.
But I think that it's not broken because we're survivors, and like you know what I mean. Like everything but if you pay attention to America, the reason that it has to be whitewashed is because naturally we always have persevered. Wherever we figure a way out for something, they had to figure out a way to whitewash it to say, well, you didn't really do it this way. We did it because we're naturally
survive, right?
But I don't think that makes us broken.
No. I'm saying that we're not broken because we're not. I'm saying we're like Eddie's saying, but right. They're saying but I think that we've never been broken, and the black man in particular isn't broken. But there's a lot of pressures where I think that we could be misunderstood or misinterpreted of what the fuck we do. But I think that if you look at and you really know history and you see our people, everything that we have, even the things is based off like everything in this whole U.S. racist system. Most of it is done by us. It's off of our labor and our backs, and we figure out to still keep functioning. We keep pushing. You know what I mean? Like, and they just keep pushing the goalposts back further and further. But we figure out we're not broken. We tell ourselves that you keep saying negative things into your head, you're going to think you're broken.
But the negative was already there, cuz it happened. Like I'm not. Nothing I said was made up. Am I right?
No. But check this out. But here's my thing. Yes, black on black crime, but white on white crime. There's Asian on Asian crime. And what you're going to promote? No. But when you watch, the reason that we're so what's the word I'm looking for? We're really trying to push getting our own narratives is because we don't get to put our narratives out there. If white people always put out the fact that, oh, these black people were out there, but there's a whole bunch of fucking white people that's doing a lot of crazy shit too. These school shootings and things aren't happening at our school.
But we don't help our cause.
Hold up. They don't care about it. But what I'm saying is when you're sitting there saying what we do, that's because they don't put their stuff out there. The biggest show on Netflix right now is what? A white man killing black people. It's Jeffrey Dahmer. You know what I mean? And if you even watch that, they were reporting the fact that he was doing this type of stuff to men. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, we're not broken. We got to get out. It's a mental clusterfuck where we get stuck in this shit.
Hold on. But, so, a large audience of the people watching it are black. So, when we get our own stuff, we talk bad about it. And then you're not going to go support it. Whether you like Tyler Perry or not. The man has done a lot to try to put images out. Some of them might be a little flawed. They're not perfect, but he's doing the best to like employ people, give opportunities, put out images. As a black community, I can say maybe half of the black community shits on Tyler Perry on a daily basis. So then it's like, why would I keep doing stuff for you? And now this movie comes out and it's like, oh, so y'all can go support that, but you can't support nothing that I'm doing. And that becomes it's a thing. Like whenever we see us on TV, we rip it apart because we don't like something about it. Either it's too whitewashed, it's too black, it's too slavery, it's too ghetto, it's too something. Like there's something wrong with everything that's a depiction of us. That's what I'm saying. So we tear ourselves down. We tear ourselves down, and then when they make something about us, then we're like, oh, let's watch this and see what happens. If it's good, cool. Like like Kirk Douglas makes a movie and it's something black, or Steven Spielberg makes The Color Purple, the greatest fucking shit ever. Steven Spielberg's The Color Purple. And then you take it and say, oh, Spike Lee's Mo Better Blues. Who watched that? And it becomes like the thing, like I'm not supporting that. For what? I think the broken part is very different. I don't think we're broken. I think we don't understand ourselves enough to have a big enough statement.
Is that not broken if you can't
figure
that's not,
no,
it's not
because,
broken. No. It's not that it's broken. It's
so
if you say
what is the definition of broken? What is the definition of broken?
I feel like personally, I feel like broken is being at a state to where you can't come back from this, and like everything
That's
that
false.
happens.
If you break a bone, it heals. So that's false.
That's it. My interpretation.
Respect.
So I feel like broken's like it's something you can't come back to. I feel like it's saying like as a community of black men, we just can't function. And I don't think that's the case. I think that we as black men are always in fight or flight mode, and we're not honest enough with ourselves to be able to be transparent and vulnerable enough to say who we really are and what we really feel. So instead of saying I want to be in that relationship, I'm in love with this person and I'm ready to put my heart on the line to see if this is going to work. Like, I want to be there. I want to be supportive. I want to be protective. I want to be all these things. Instead of that, and then having the responsibility of taking on that pressure or that responsibility, that power of saying, this is going to be my relationship. This is how I feel. I'd rather go play in the streets because it's easier. There's no responsibility to that. So I don't have to take on anything. I don't have to worry about protecting your feelings or protecting your emotions. I can just go do me. So I don't think that makes that person broken. Nah, that's not broken. That's being misguided.
But see, the thing
because
is,
if someone said right now, say, Bub, your son just turned 9, right?
Right.
So dudes that see him that are our age, like, what up, little player? You got all the chicks yet? We push that on them at a young age. So you think that if you don't match up to that, you're not on the level of what this black maleness looks like. Even
so let me ask you this:
all the right ways.
Right. So that's the thing. That's a key point. So are we failing our black boys emotionally?
Absolutely.
Because like what you're saying is like, because Eddie's point was like the immaturity. You're saying like as far as being able to respond. So are we failing somewhere as parents? And like obviously we're currently parents. So did the generation before us, or or is it a generation is there a miscommunication where we're failing our kids with allowing them to be expressive and having these black boys not being able to understand their emotions? Are we putting too many pressures on them? Like, you know what I mean? Because go ahead.
Go ahead. Nah, I didn't want to jump in front of you, but I did want to say that the comment that Shauna had put up hit on a lot of Shannon. I'm sorry, I did say it right the first time. Shannon put up. I think black men are broken in the sense that some of them are lacking in certain areas, and it puts y'all at a disadvantage. Most parents don't raise our black men to be emotionally intelligent. When our men aren't emotionally intelligent, they are broken. It takes a strong, emotionally intelligent, confident man to admit his shortcomings, walk in his truth, and say, I don't have it all together. Most black men don't do that. They find it weak.
That's fact.
I agree. I just wouldn't call it, like, personally, I just wouldn't call it broken. I would say, you know what I mean? You're flawed. You're scarred. No, it's not argument. I think because when we
fuck that positive.
It's like that's like saying it's like when you call yourself something that feels like you can't come back from it, then you start believing that. So if like you were a kid and it's like, I mean, we broken anyway, so what the fuck? What I got to lose? And it's not, I don't think that it goes there. It's like when people say, like, I mean, your grandparents might say, don't say you're poor. Don't say you're broke. Like it's just you don't do that. You can say, I mean, I'm flawed. That's fine because you can fix flaws. You can grow from that. I think it's just a matter of understanding where you're at and being able to be honest with that and being vulnerable in where you're at and saying, this is what's going on. Right now, therapy is huge in the black male community.
Right.
Which I think is going to be that's what I'm saying. I think that's going to be amazing for the generation that's growing up as kids right now, because you have fathers and uncles and cousins and grandfathers or whatever having these conversations, getting into their emotions, learning how to communicate and how to express how they feel in a different way. Whereas before, it was shut up and do what I say. Yeah. And there is no conversation. You gonna get this beaten, and I'm not going to tell you why. So now you start breaking that. It starts changing that generation. So like all three of y'all have amazing relationships with your sons. So to see that now, excuse me. Whereas with us growing up, it was like, oh, your dad's at the house. You know who your dad is. You see your dad. That was a thing. Now it's like, for me, it's almost like, where's your son? Why don't you have your son? Like, because I always see y'all with them. So it's different. I think we're in the trajectory of changing that.
So I want to interject because I got two questions off of I got one question that's based off of what you're saying. So I was going to ask you, do you think that the generation before us as a whole, like as far as them being fathers, they were a little bit more absent than our generation?
I think our parents were a
generation. A lot of us that grew up without dad being there. You see what I'm saying?
Right. I think when you get post civil rights and you go into like the Black Panther movement before you get into
the like drugs in the 70s.
80s. Yeah, I think the generation in there were basically like just like left out and abandoned, because at post civil rights, it's almost like that entire civil rights generation and before just gave up, because it was just like, what are we even fighting for anymore? Mm-hmm. And then you move it to the younger generation, which is where the Panthers came in. They were all in college, basically, trying to overthrow the wrongs of government. So that's misguided. That goes into, we're going to end that and just throw this into the drug epidemic, and then it just goes downhill from there. So I think that's where the problem came. I think our parents just did what they knew to do, but they didn't really know what to do, because
would you say a lot of us stepped up to the plate then in comparison to the previous generation?
Nah, I can't say that, because y'all know, and like, let me say this, because I was raised by my single father.
You're a rarity.
I'm not as much as you want to think, but
I'm gonna just say, as far as what I know, I don't know a lot of guys that were raised by their dads. It was
but there were a lot. But here's the thing. On top of that, he had to deal with stuff with his dad. Like, his dad wasn't around. So again, that is what set the tone for me. You know what I mean? Because again, that's how I know that a father could be with his son. But also, you also know my family in its entirety. I had a whole bunch of uncles who were married and they families, and like, you know, my uncle Skip, my uncle Boo, like, you know, my uncle, like, you know what I mean? So I grew up with a lot of men, because there are men, and I don't want everybody to always think that. And I get it. Like, some people, a lot of people don't, but that's not where I grew up, and we grew up around the same area. Like, you know what I mean? And you know, I had men, a lot of strong men who took care of their families that were in these situations. So I don't want it to make it seem like it was just everybody. Like, you know what I mean?
It's never an everybody thing, but it was very common. Be real, cuz it was very common to meet somebody that said, yo, I live with my single mom versus my single dad. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, but I also know, I know a lot of people, like our two dudes that's not even on the show have both parents. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's not, I don't think it's not as uncommon as we want to always believe. And I think it's part of the thing that, like, we say, like, you say so many things so many times that you'll start believing that some of these, like, again, if you keep saying you broken, you go say you broken. And I think the psychological aspect, like, there's parents that, like, this co-parenting thing, like, there's a lot of parents that were in just because they didn't live in the house.
In my life that I needed to grow up from being a broken person. Yo, I do believe that me not having dad there the way that he should have been there with me growing up.
I'm not disputing that.
Way. My emotional aspect, right? I'm naturally emotional. So me and my son have that emotional thing. Like, we're good. We can talk about our feelings, but that's just me being a dad to my son. You know what I'm saying? And it's way easy with my daughters. But what I'm saying is, like, I didn't, you know, where some guys, and I actually want to go back to this question, because what I'm about to say is going to touch it. So Mogul said, does the way men define masculinity play a part of this? Yes, it does. Because if you brought up the thing that, like you said, Shot, yo, fuck that feeling shit. You know what I mean? Like, we're men. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're basically brought to think that for the most part. And Bub, you can agree that. Just so think about my grandpa, right? He was from a different generation where emotions played no part in nothing. My grandpa would stop my son dead in his track before he'd take a hug from him. Like, I'm just being real. That's too soft. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, Is that not a broken way of thinking about things? I know he's wrong. He should be more in touch with his emotions.
But you gotta
embrace. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. You're right, but let's put this in perspective. Like Shad stated, the prior generation from our parents, the grandparents, like you said, they're removed from the civil rights, so they fought and they had a certain way of carrying things. Like you know what I mean? It was you know what I mean? Just do your job, put your head down. Yeah. You know, your leg falling off, it don't matter. You still go to work. Right. The next generation understood some of the evolution. Like you said, the Panthers, our parents in that generation, they start saying that, hey, that ain't the way to go because I don't want to, you know, die that way. Just going to work for somebody, my leg fall off. We're the evolution to where that's not necessarily even the best way to where our kids are now. So to omit that these things took place, and we're also in a place where it's natural progression. That's why I said we're not broken, because we're still progressing in the mental health aspect of understanding the traumas that's been placed in front of us.
So maybe we were broken and now we're fixing it.
We were never broken. We evolved from, we left from, we got out of slavery. You know what I mean? Like we got out of slavery. We went to the civil rights. Like we fought and they fucking slaughtered a lot of us, and we tortured them and we suffered. But we never fucking gave up, and we're still fighting for the same thing. So we have to be survivors in your fucking thinking. And it's never been that way. And the evolution of it is, again, the civil rights movement is only 60 years ago. That's not even that far ago. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy when you think about it.
Because think about this. So you have like in certain areas, you have like the Chinatown where, you know, that whole thing where you have like Little Italy, you have like all of that thing. I know you heard this before, but think about that. Cause where's there a Little Africa? Where's there a place where
because they don't have culture. Like our culture that's cultural, and that was stripped away. Like that's a different thing.
Your own situation, right? It goes back.
No, it's not.
We'll go. I could go to your business and say, "Yo, cuz, why don't you give me a discount on them kicks?" But then go to Foot Locker and accept whatever they tell me. Fine, I'll pay the $350. But cuz, you should give them to me for $100 off. Like we have that mentality, cuz.
Hold on, because that's easy. Where's the black neighborhood? Everywhere there's an MLK. So everywhere there's MLK is the black neighborhood.
Ain't nobody got business.
But it's a poor neighborhood because we're taking our money out of the neighborhood and taking it somewhere else.
We're saying the other communities.
I'm saying the other communities, they don't do that. So it's Chinatown shops in Chinatown. Like if you're in Little Russia, they shop in Little Russia. If you're in Little India, they shop in Little India. Little Ethiopia, that's where they shopping at. We take our money because after segregation, it was cool for us to be able to like walk into a store in a different neighborhood and spend our money because they wouldn't allow us to do it before. Now that you can do that, the mentality of going somewhere else and spending your money because that's a better quality of stuff.
No, you're omitting one part about it, Shaq. We know. No. We're gonna tell the truth.
Believe in that stuff.
No. Part of it was, Shaq, and we discussed this before too. Like with the Black Wall Streets, and a lot of times we had our own businesses and stuff like that. They would come and destroy that shit after a fucking while too. And that's what I'm saying, because we're adaptable people. So we've always been adaptable people, and we're forgetting that because again,
it's not forgetting that. But
yeah, because
we have to acknowledge that we migrated out of our own communities.
We in some instances, but there was still a sense of pride because we had, like, even we came through in the 90s. There were people that lived in certain areas, but they still came back and had businesses in our areas that still helped the area manifest. Now, financially and like certain dynamics at this point, it doesn't even benefit you financially to give back in certain areas because of the fact that
if you put a business in your neighborhood, somebody's going to rob it. Because
it's not rob. He's saying rob. It's not even rob. It's not. It's the financial ramifications of like insurance, taking care of like everything that takes place with trying to have this business. When we went to school,
it's a broken way of it's broken.
Hold on. Everybody trying to talk at one time. Everybody trying to talk at one time.
No, y'all good. Go talk. Yeah.
Nah, I want to plug something right quick. I want to say something because Facebook usually put up a comment earlier that I think need to be addressed. She said, I agree with Eddie. We are broken. Just think we are told to humble ourselves more than being told to be yourself.
That's Vaughn. Why you keep saying Facebook user? It's Vaughn.
Because that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
it
saying.
says, but that's
But look, and then it says every black man, which is a true statement, is not a survivor. Sean Ray Williams, we are one worst enemy when it comes to supporting each other. Iron sharpens iron. Each one teach one. It also has to deal with general curses. Generational curses. Excuse me.
Public school.
Go ahead, Eddie and Shot.
See, if you
Nah.
I ain't gonna say what I started to say.
Nah. Go ahead, Shot and Eddie. Y'all had.
That's
some
why I
points
said
that
I'm broken.
Nah, so I think that I don't think that I can't put my business here because if I do, it's going to get robbed.
Okay,
Yeah,
wait. I gotta
that.
pause you. If you don't think that that's legit, I'm not saying. Okay, that's very. I don't know the word that I want to say, but yeah, I shouldn't really think that, right? So that's Eddie's broken way of thinking about things because society says that that's what's going to happen.
Right.
Cool. Whatever. Let's be real. I wouldn't have a fear of putting a business in the hood just because, like, yo, I want to create like employment for my own. You know, that kid that can't get on the bus to go wait at the mall because their parent can't or they can't afford it, but it's within walking distance, so they can get to my store, work there, and get a check. Cool. I wouldn't mind doing any of that. Helping out, funneling money through the hood. Like, you're going to spend black money in my black establishment. That's dope, and I'm giving back. Whatever. But what I'm getting at is, bro, you can't sit here and tell me that people don't think. Okay, think about Harrisburg, uptown. You know what I mean? They got where the barbecue pit is. They got this little weed shop now. Like they're literally closing down things and putting up new things, trying to gentrify. You know what I mean? The hood type thing, right? Like, bro, do you think
because
they would bring
there's
these
value there
if it was just us?
No.
Think about it.
The thing is this: it's the lazy way of this, yo. Like every restaurant, all the corner stores are owned by non-black people, so there's money there. Like to Shad's one point, he was gonna say, like, yo, the thing is that you gotta understand. Like you sitting there saying, like, I'm gonna get right. No, that's not the thinking. Like the thinking shouldn't be that because it's Mr. Lee's. How many Mr. Lee's do we know in Harrisburg that own corner stores? And there's everywhere in Harrisburg is a Mr. Lee. And that's not being racist or anything. That's just being true because the money's there. Again, like there's now recently there's been a whole bunch of Spanish spots that have been popping up. 6 inch school kills, not even that bar no more. It's a corner store. All the bars are turned into corner stores by other races because the fact is the money's there. Like we got to stop telling ourselves that we
don't have the money to do that though.
Yes, we do. They don't have the money. They had the resources and figure that, and they figure it out.
So if we got the money, why are we not buying the stores then?
Because we don't value it right.
Somebody else. Go ahead.
Because
we don't value it. That's a broken way of thinking about it.
The problem is it's not that we don't value it. We don't understand it. So we don't think about the middle lane. It's I want this. I want a real estate license so I can go make this much money on a real estate license. I want a car dealership so I can make this much money in the car dealership. You don't think about the middle shit. Nobody thinks about the fact that you always need laundry detergent. You always need like cereal, like things like that you don't think about. And those are everyday items. Those aren't big ticket items. So we're trying to sell.
Why are you thinking about it, Shad?
Because we focus on the money instead of the resource. So we're all trying to get rich instead of making sure that we can maintain. There's a lot of money in maintaining.
Is that not a goddamn broken way of thinking about life?
It's not a broken way.
Nah, it's a step. No
one told you that you could get a corner store
steps
and sell all the things that we need, right? Detergent, like you said, cereal, milk. Nah, we would jump from projects to man.
Because
you know what I'm saying?
But it's something that was programmed because it was shown to us that way. Okay. You think about MTV Cribs, everybody whose house they showed us was broke. Mm-hmm. So now you're trying to figure out how to level up on that person instead of doing your best. Mm-hmm. So we're chasing bigger dollar amounts instead of doing things that we either one, enjoy doing, two, that's actually like needed in our community because you can stay in the community. You can, like the 6 of us, honestly, right now, could pool money together and open up a store in the hood.
Facts.
You know what I mean? We could pool money together and buy a crib, flip a crib, buy another crib, flip a crib, buy another. It's easy to do. It's just a simple fact that we're not willing to do these things because these are like on the median level. I want big shit.
The discipline and folks that it takes to acquire grand wealth and long time ago is a process. And that's where we're making the mistakes, because again, we get so caught up in the get rich or get blow up type things, and it's only one avenue. That's why even shit, I'm gonna just keep it simple. We only think about basketball. Oh, they're going to basketball or football. Baseball makes the money. You know what I mean? That's why they pulled it out the hood. You know what I mean? Like, we just get small-minded and fixated on the small things. And the fact that, like,
being a doctor or a dentist, you can make decent wealth doing that. Like, they got money.
I mean,
they ain't rich, but they got bread.
You can, but you can get a stick and hit a ball. You know what I'm saying? And just learn how to catch a ball. Like, and I get that shit. But I'm talking about even with the sports. Like, we get so fixated on what they tell us in the lane of what it is. So with that being said, let me ask you this. So are we just misunderstood as black men because the fact of, like, again, are we misinformed or
you can't misunderstand something that's not explained to you. So to misunderstand you, I have to have the facts and then say, oh, from what you said to me, I didn't process that right. So it's like, if you're saying, this is who I am, this is my image, I don't give a shit, I'll fight you if I need to, I'm here, I'm protecting my family, you know what I mean, I'm about my money, I'm not afraid of anything. From what you gave me, I have to utilize that to come to a conclusion. If I misunderstand what you just told me, that's what I have to base it off of. If your truth is, I'm actually afraid, I think I'm failing my family, I'm worried about my money, I think I'm about to lose my crib, I don't want to get into a fight because that's not me. I'm not trying to carry a gun because that's not me. Like, for me, I just want to have my family, love on my family, see everybody grow up, and just have everything peaceful. If that's who you are on the inside, but you gave me that other person, I'm not misunderstanding you. I'm looking at the lie that you told me. So I'd rather, at that point, adjust myself to your lie than your truth, because I don't know your truth. I don't know that person. So I'm better off with this other dude because that's who I've always been around.
So now, you're saying that's specifically our way of thinking, correct? Like, that's
not. That's not. I don't think that's just us. I think that people have facades. I think with our community, the issue that we run into is that we're raised to not be vulnerable, not be emotional, not be transparent, and always have our head on a swivel. Like, that's just how we're raised. You're a dude, you get into an argument, go fight.
We was raised that way, though. Again, because of, like we said, the evolution, because that was the mindset. But now, like, through conversations such as this GQ podcast, make sure y'all tune in. No, but the evolution of just being able to talk, you know what I mean, and like understand, like, every generation. Like, now we know we have more information that they flooded us with drugs intentionally to remove fathers out the thing because we weren't broken. We're not broken. It was an intentional thing because they knew the threat. If you know a threat, the only way you take care of a threat is to take out their mind so they can't think. And that's what it's always been. But it hasn't been an overnight process.
I think, because I hate to keep cutting you off. I apologize, cuz I'm just trying to.
Cuz you don't apologize for what you think. That's your allowed to think how you think.
I keep cutting you off. You know, I can't.
You're good.
You know me. I can't just sit there and be quiet sometimes.
Go ahead, get busy.
I do think that that's us being broke because, like, we can fix that. When you break something, okay, not everything that's broke can be fixed. Let's be real. If I shatter a glass in a million pieces,
if you total your car, if you total your car, it's gone.
No, but you can shatter the plate. You can put it back together, but it's still flawed.
Okay, you can fix shit, right? Something that are broken can be fixed. All right, I know that a broken bone can be fixed. Whether you got to put plates and screws in it, somehow or another, you're gonna fix that bone. You know what I mean?
It's flawed. So
but it can be fixed. It can be fixed.
It can be fixed. But you know what I mean? It has an imperfection now. That's all.
All right, this is a perfect time for me to slide right into this.
Yeah,
Mocha
Mama.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Mocha Mama said, when we say communication is key, that includes relationships with our children. Sean Ray Williams, a lot of people have this slavery mindset and try to use that as an excuse why they can't get ahead in life. Vaughn, just because you're broken doesn't mean you're not able to be fixed. True. Business 101. We need to start to have the business mindset and stop spending money on the wrong things. And Mocha Mama closed out with, it will be broken and fixed, but it won't ever be the same, which is a true statement. I can agree with that.
That's
Nah,
cool, but just
hold
because
up,
it'll never
hold
be
up,
the
Eddie.
same doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be worse. You know what I mean?
Hold up.
That was
Nah,
what
that-
I mean.
It's
Bub,
gonna get back
I'm
to
just saying, I agree with that comment, but I'm asking y'all.
Bub want to say something. Go ahead, Bub.
Nah, I want you to say something because you've been a lot of quiet down there. Like, you know what I mean? Like me and Shadin, you know what I mean? So I want to hear what you got to say about it.
I mean,
Oh, no, you
I
good,
think
cuz.
if you get to a place in life, like I think it sometimes can be interpreted. I'm gonna say interpreted as being broken. Now, if you down the wits end, you lost this, you lost your job, you lost your home, you lost your car, you lost all these things at one time. It's like, look, I have nothing. I'm this, that, and the third. Some may interpret that as being broken. Now, some may say that's not being broken, but some may interpret that as being broken. Now, the question is, do you stay there or do you get up?
Here's the thing.
Because some people, we talking about the broken, the misunderstood, but there has to be a point where you say, I can't have sympathy for somebody that's broken and wants to stay that way. That's not trying not to increase or level up in any way, shape, or form. Because we could talk about being broken, but there's some people that are broken, right? And they feel they're broken right now. But my question to them that may be listening right now, and I want them to hear me, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it?
I think that's the thing. I think regardless of how low your situation gets, if you're alive, you can fix it.
Come on.
I agree, bro.
There's always a way to fix it. The shit, it might be hard. It might take you 10 years to get it done. But if you're still here and you're still breathing, it can be fixed.
You will get there.
It won't be perfect. And again, that's where it comes. That's when I say it's about being honest with yourself and saying, look, I have a money mismanagement issue. I need help figuring out how to manage my money, because if I keep doing this, I'm gonna keep staying in the same situation. Got you. I have a thing where I have vices that is taking me out of my relationship on a continuous basis.
You gotta separate.
It's like you need to figure out what your problem is, be honest with yourself about your problem, and then fix it. Not to fix it for anybody else, but to fix it to be the best person that you can be for yourself. Everybody else comes after you. I love the family thing. You know, I mean, I'm sure y'all gonna say you gotta put your kids first. It's
I gotta make sure I'm cool before I make sure my kids is cool. I can't do nothing for my kids if I'm broken. I can't do nothing for my kids.
But as black men, how do you all right, so let me ask you all this. To Shad's point, like, we got to be able to be open. You're that's a very valid point. So how do you get to those steps, Shad, Bugs, Eddie, where you can actually feel comfortable saying I need help or I need this? Because a lot of, like you said, in a lot of instances, a lot of us as black men have been taught you don't express, but how do you revert that to change that narrative where you get to that direction? Like, how do you make it go in a better direction?
Let me go first. I'll let you go first.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Oh no! Was that me?
No,
you was gonna talk.
Yeah,
I'm blessed. I've been doing a lot of it.
I think the honest way to start to get yourself on the right track is to surround yourself with the right people who will allow you to be vulnerable and transparent without judging you. If you have that kind of network, even if it's 3 people, 2 people, if you have people that you can be honest and vulnerable with, I think that's the perfect way to get back on the right track, regardless of how far you are. If you have nobody that you can turn to and just be honest, it's like if everybody that you're talking to is going to judge you for what you're doing, you're not going to tell them the truth because you don't want to hear the judgment.
Oh, can I respond to that?
I'm done. Y'all can go ahead now.
Oh, listen.
Go ahead, Eddie.
So what you just said, my fault, Bugs. I just needed to respond to what he just said. So, like, I think that it might be hard for others more. it may be more hard for others to actually put themselves in that vulnerable state because there's still people at our ages that will still lie and say things, not actually admitting that there's a struggle mentally or whatever, and they're not ready to really put that out there because maybe they're uncomfortable. Whatever your reason is, you might be uncomfortable. You may feel judged, like you said, but you have to find within yourself, and you have to find within yourself to be able to be honest with your brother. Like, all right, any one of y'all on here, y'all know me. Y'all knew me since I was a young boy. Y'all know I've always been an open book. If I'm struggling with something, if I'm hurting about something, if I'm whatever, like I have no problem with hitting up either one of y'all and saying, yo, I'm experiencing this. And and if I need help, I'm also okay with saying I need help. Like, I don't think that makes me look like less than a man. You know what I'm saying? This is what I teach my son. It's okay to have help because we all need it from time to time. You know what I mean? But you have to find out within yourself, and not everybody. Some people don't ever develop that. Some people go to the grave thinking like, yo, I'm just not comfortable telling nobody anything. And so therefore I can't get the help that I need to grow or fix myself or however you want to word it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's really about however you want to word the situation. So you surround yourself with positive people to answer your question, bro. Like if I have a life that I'm living and I'm around all these things that I know are negative, you know what I'm saying? It's like if I have a drinking problem. Why would I be a drink all the time if I know that I need to not drink no more? You see what I'm saying? Right. Like I gotta surround myself with positivity. So let me hang out with my friends that don't drink as much. Maybe I won't have the desire to drink. I'm using the drink thing as an example, obviously. But you surround yourself with those type of people that are gonna push you to be a better you. Because like I thrive off that. I love to see when one of my folks or somebody's doing well, or you know what I mean, whatever. Like, and I'm always gonna be full of questions. If I'm not where I think I need to be, or maybe there's something you're doing that can help me out. Maybe it's with my business. Maybe it's with whatever. I have no problem asking that. But see, that's me. Not everybody's like that. It's hard. It kind of is hard. And with men, it's a pride thing a lot of times. I ain't asking this nigga for help so he can look at me like I'm a clown. Am I wrong? You know what I'm saying?
Nah. But look.
Go ahead, bro. It's my fault. Go ahead, bro.
Nah, you good. I want to plug this, and I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like, what?
Say what you say. I hope you ain't plugging no comments. Say your piece, my man.
Oh,
like,
no,
look,
I'm
all
saying
right, cool. Talk.
What I'm saying is this. Listen, I got to plug this for somebody that may see this. Maybe they watching now. Like, that is like adamantly on me. Like, real talk. Like, sometimes you got to just be sick and tired of being sick and tired. You got to get to the point to where I've got to do something. Some people have to hit rock bottom before they realize I have to change this way of thinking or I have to change this mindset. And tonight I'm literally speaking like, don't let that be you. Black man, black king, rise up from where you are. Realize that you've had enough. And it is time to do something about it. If it's a habit, if it's sickness, if it's disease, whatever it is, it can get better. But whether it's male or female, you have to be honest with yourself. You have to be vulnerable. You have to open up, clean out those things that have been inside for so long, sweep in there, then you'll be able to go on and progress and heal. Because I've never seen nobody that progressed going forward that kept looking backward. You got to leave with the past is the past. It don't matter what you did last week. It doesn't matter what you did yesterday. It don't matter what you did this morning. If you got the mindset to change, your change can begin right now.
And I like that.
I almost played the organ on that because I was feeling that shit a little bit. I was going to be like, But the thing is,
that's real.
Let me say this though, because what all y'all said is true. But the key, like one of the key things is, like you said, you do surround yourself with people you can talk to. You do have to just get rid of the negative stigma. But you got to understand, people are going to talk, so you got to just let that go. But you also got to understand that time is the one thing you can't get back. So you don't waste your time on that negativity. Like the evolution and understanding is key. You understand that as a man, you can't sit there and soak about what you did in the past. What's done is done. Now you had to progress, and like you said, with the like-minded people, you had to go in a direction to where you need to get to. And that's the key thing I think that they need to hear. They need to see us. We're unity. We're black men. We're out here. We're speaking because we love y'all. We love ourselves. We love each other. We love our families. Like, we can do this, and it's not going to be anything that you just leave. Like, I mean, like anything that you're going to do that's going to progress something is going to be hard. There's always going to be resistance, but you go keep pushing because you built for it, and you're stronger than you always know you. I mean, you're going to always find that you're stronger than you ever thought you were. So you just got to keep pushing, man. Like, that's what it's really about. But let that shit go. Like a lot of that stuff, it's in the past. If you here, that means you were meant to survive it. If you aren't here, you wouldn't be even here to tell your story. So you got to keep pushing. And that's what you got to build up. And that's how you got to build your friends up, your family, your loved ones. And that's what it's about. Like, you got to keep pushing. Nothing more, nothing less.
No, I think on top of that, like, you have to forgive yourself. Like, you're no different than anybody else. Everybody fucks up. Like, you gotta forgive yourself to be able to leave the past in the past and move forward. You don't got to do it for everybody else. You don't got to say it to nobody else
at all.
It's a conversation with self. I have a thing that I do on every day. Like, before I go to sleep, I'll be like, you had a good fucking day. Like, you got this shit done. You got this done. Could have did better here, but you had a good fucking day. Like, be proud of yourself. And I go to bed and I wake up the next morning. I try to set my intentions and I try to achieve something that day. It's, if I don't get something done or I don't accomplish something or I don't finish something, I let myself know it's all right. There's tomorrow. Like, you can still get it done. Don't make a habit of it, but it's good. Like, you're fine. And I think I think we're hard on ourselves to the point that we overwhelm ourselves too heavily to where we can't progress forward. And it's like, well, you ain't did this. And first time somebody say, well, you ain't shit. Like, maybe you ain't shit. And you ain't did this in this long. You suck at this and you can't do that. And you start beating yourself down. You're your worst critic. Anybody else, if you have that power in yourself, nobody else can beat you down far enough to make you not be able to do something. It's when you believe it and you allow someone to keep kicking you down a hill that you keep going down the hill and you just stay there. So you forgive yourself and then just let it go. My people are not broken. My people are powerful as hell. My people, we achieve everything that we want.
And it gets stolen all the time because
and that's fine. Y'all keep stealing it. You can keep stealing it, but you can never be us. You can never do what we do. You can't duplicate it. By the time you duplicate it, we've done something else. Like, we achieve everything. We win. Like, we are winners. It's the matter of us seeing us in our totality. And until we do that, they're going to keep attacking. And it's not just one race. It's a system. And they're going to keep attacking. Like, right now, Africa has more Asian people in there trying to take over the country than they do white people. It's a system. They know that we have the resources to everything. They know we have answers to everything. They know we're going to achieve whatever we set our minds to. Like, we can do whatever the fuck we want. Real talk. So it's just a matter of believing that you can do whatever you want.
Just to touch on something before we close, we've been out here for a minute, and I get it. I just want to touch: are black men unappreciated? Do you think we're unappreciated though?
I think we're underappreciated by ourselves. I think we underappreciate us
by each other.
It's like I think black women want to see us be better because they know the potential of black men. They want to see us do better. I think that white people see it and they're like, damn, if they actually achieve, that's going to be a problem. They know but I'm not going to say that's all white people, because some white people want to see us win as well. Like, there's a lot of people that want to see us win. So it's just we have to see us for what and who we are. And then, like, once you get there, like, we're unstoppable. If we all as black people were supporting each other, just like, yo, the question, whenever you go somewhere, like, for me, I go whatever city I used to live in, I bump into somebody, what you been up to? Oh, I tell them, like, blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's cool. All right, man, you stay up. It's not like, oh, yo, since you're doing that, I know this dude that's doing this. You should link up with them and you can probably push that further. It's, if I say, so what's new with you? I'm not saying it just to say what's new with you. I'm saying it to find out what you've been doing. Is there a way I can help you get somewhere that you're trying to get to? It's different. Like I tell people, like hit me up. I don't have everything. I don't know everybody, but I share my resources in a heartbeat.
Like
and it's just it's that thing. Like I'm here. I want my fucking people to win. Period.
So
in whatever way.
You think we unappreciated?
I don't even know how to
Eddie?
even follow up the rest of all of y'all positive
Can't nobody follow
messages
me
I was
up.
saying.
Nah,
I'm gonna just say this though.
It's not
was real
about-
shit. But I'm gonna say this.
That's
when
his,
it comes to
speak your
bettering
shit.
yourself, I'm just mine is short. But when it comes to bettering yourself, I do want to let everybody know, like, yo, it's okay to get you some professional help to work through your shit. Like, it really is. Like, I know it was brought up to think that like that therapy thing wasn't for us. But like, and Shad's #1 advocate of this, like, and I appreciated him for being open about it because it kind of made me comfortable with it too. Because like, yo, you can't really figure it out on your own mentally. Yo, we got a lot of things going on in our head, and sometimes you got to lay that out and get somebody that actually went to school that can help you work through that thing. You know what I'm saying? But just make sure that whoever you talk to, you can relate with them. Like for me personally, a therapist for me, my ideal therapist, I like to listen to women a lot of times. Maybe it's my upbringing. You know what I'm saying? Because I was raised by predominantly women. So a black woman, I feel like can help me iron out my things or my issues. Plus, also, I know that she's going to hold me to a certain standard. So it makes me want to do better. I can feel comfortable with one of my guys and say, you know, guys can be yes men. Not saying that y'all are, but guys can be yes men, right? Mm-hmm. And this is just my preference. But I know that like a black female can help me iron it out. It's almost like talking to Mom Dukes for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm laying this out. I got to work through these things. And then once you get yourself better, you got to better your relationships with your people around you. Because like we got to do better for each other also. That's the only way that we can really grow, bro. Like we can't just sit here and just keep putting each other down and like doing what society said we should do. We should be like, yo, we are kings. I agree. We're dope. Like we're so dope. And we don't even, we haven't even scratched the surface of what we really can be. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to better ourselves. So get yourself right, get relationships right. Let's all grow together. That's all I got to say, man.
Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah.
So do you think we're unappreciated?
Talk that talk, Eddie.
Say it again.
So do you think we're unappreciated? With all
Yeah, we're definitely unappreciated.
Right.
Like, of course. But we're unappreciated as a race, not even just black men. Our whole entire race is like black women. Think about it; they're at the bottom of the fucking barrel. Like
they're not. They're the most educated.
Not to us, but that's how they're treated by
they're the most
society,
educated
bro.
people in this world, man. I mean,
No, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying they are. I'm saying that's how they're treated. That's how they treat them. You see what I'm saying? Because
I think they treat us worse, but
when it comes to like corporate America, like they get pushed to the bottom.
They do.
Like it's white men, white women, black men, black women.
It's messed up. They're the greatest resources on
That's it. They are the greatest resource. They're the greatest resource.
It's not even just resources. Black women are fucking superheroes.
Yeah.
They
are. I'm not
like
bro, I don't even know the word to
superheroes.
I don't want to disrespect. I don't want to say the wrong word. I'm trying to compliment you to let you know how special you are, and I love you, all of you. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
What you got, Bugs? Are we unappreciated? What you
say? Nah. I mean, yeah. I mean, to society, I do believe, because I don't believe we get the respect we deserve in any environment. So until we do, I'm going to say yes. We're not appreciated because we are king. We are it. I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I know. But that's another conversation, my brother. But that's also a wonderful night. Note to get ready to close on.
Hold on, real quick. Before you say
final
that.
Statements.
Yeah.
No, final statements.
Yeah, like
final statements.
No, we
I'm gonna say. Good.
I don't got nothing else.
No, I just wanted to say because the Bugs thing that we're unappreciated, but that's because we're a threat. That's why every black man out there, like when you're a threat, you have to eliminate a threat. That's why we're always attacked. We're survivors. We're great. And we're going to build this nation back. Don't fucking fall victim to what they tell you. And stop repeating those same dry narratives. We're not broke at all. We're survivors. We're innovators. We're creators. We're the greatest. respect us, respect yourself, show love, and take care of each other, man. That's all this fuck is to it.
And with that being said, loved ones, you already know what it is. There's so many other places you could have been on a Friday night, but you chose to be here with us, and we greatly appreciate it. So for the night, you take care, stay safe. Shout out to all those in Florida. You in our thoughts and prayers.
Rest in peace to Coolio.
We touch that next week.
Most definitely.
That's the whole
next week.
So y'all be happy, be safe, and most of all, be you. Q out.
Q out.
Peace, y'all.